Fortnite used to be slow. A big map, quiet drops, 10 minutes of looting before any fighting actually happened. Then Epic added one place that broke Fortnite forever, Tilted Towers. Tilted Towers went from carrying Chapter 1 to being destroyed by a volcano, and also powered Fortnite's biggest moments, and became the location that Epic truly never deleted. In this video, we're breaking down how Tilted Towers didn't just change the map, it rewired how Fortnite is played, watched, and remembered. So enjoy. Fortnite in the beginning was simple. You jumped out of a battle bus, you looted, you rotated into zone, and hoped the storm wouldn't push you into somebody. The map was massive.
The map is too massive, dude.
And sometimes it felt like you were playing a looting simulator with some shooting at the end.
Let's go and see if it's got a chug chug. Nothing!
Epic needed a shortcut to action, so in Season 2, they added Tilted Towers.
Tilted Towers.
Tilted Towers.
Tilted Towers.
Tilted Towers?
Tilted Towers.
It was built on the larger end of locations, placed near the center, and packed with lots of loot, so players could land there and still find enough shield and mats to fight. That one design choice changed how the community viewed everything. Epic didn't invent Tilted out of thin air. They looked at early town spots, like Pleasant Park and Retail Row, and asked themselves, what if we make a bigger one that sits closer to the middle? The goal was simple, give the lobby a clear meeting point, and they stuffed it with loot on purpose, so many players could land there all at once and still find enough weapons fast enough to hold their own. That's why Tilted feels like it was built for fights, and not looting. It was a genius trap. Once players found it, they never looked back. Tilted became a magnet. It didn't matter if you were a sweat, casual, or brand new player. You understood Tilted in 1 second. More chests, more fights, more risk, and more reward. Land there and you might leave stacked, or land there and you might be pickaxed before you can even find a gun. Tilted's layout helped too. It had tight streets, tall buildings, and a million little angles. 1 second you were on a roof, the next you're boxed up on a stairwell, and suddenly the fight feels personal. It's close range, loud, messy, and fast fights that made Tilted feel like a different game mode inside of Fortnite. That risk made Tilted famous. People who played it called it the most dangerous spot because its loot pulled so many players into one tiny space. People compared it to a meat grinder, and honestly, it's kind of accurate. Sometimes you would hear footsteps above, below, and somehow in the same wall you were hiding behind. Tilted turned early game into a mini battle royale inside of a battle royale. And because Tilted was so intense, it became Fortnite's content factory. Streamers loved it because something was always happening, and viewers loved it because there was no slow build up. You didn't need to watch 10 minutes of looting to get to the good part. Tilted was the good part. If you played during peak Tilted, you remember what it was like landing there. You land with half the lobby, grab any weapon you can find, and try to make your way out with as many kills as possible. You either win your first fight and feel like a hero, or get sent back to the lobby in a blink of an eye. But Tilted did more than create fights. It taught Fortnite how to build hype. In March 2018, a meteor appeared in the sky. Players started thinking, is it going to hit Tilted?
Epic Games, we're thinking about taking Tilted Towers out the game. With the information that we got now, this might actually be a thing, okay? But a meteor strike, okay, yes, a meteor strike is going to hit Tilted Towers at the end of the season and absolutely wipe it out of the game.
Epic teased the drama, so everyone watched the map like it was a TV show. When the meteor finally hit in May, it destroyed Dusty Depot instead, with Tilted only taking a smaller hit. The twist mattered, but the bigger lesson was this. Fortnite's map could tell a story, and Tilted was the stage where people gathered to watch. That idea grew over time. Tilted wasn't just a place you fought at, it was a place the whole community cared about. So when Epic finally wiped it out for real, it hit harder than people expected. In Season 8, May 2019, the volcano on the map erupted and destroyed Tilted Towers, leaving basically one building. Half the community cheered, because they thought the game would be finally calmer. The other half acted like Epic destroyed their childhood home. Either way, Fortnite proved it had an iconic landmark, and removing it was a major event. But not long after, Epic rebuilt it in Season 9 as Neo Tilted, a sleek, future version of the OG Tilted. Then in Season X, it got remixed again, turned into Tilted Town, where building was disabled, and later it was replaced by Gotham City during a Batman crossover. These were not random reskins. Epic was using Tilted as a testing lab. Change one location, and the whole player base feels it immediately. Then came the biggest reset, the Black Hole event.
Do you see this freaking void? Look at the void! Holy!
At the end of Season X, the entire map got consumed, and Fortnite moved into Chapter 2, with a new island. Tilted was nowhere to be seen, but players still wanted a hot drop that felt like it. So Epic doing what Epic does best. In Chapter 2 Season 5, Tilted returned as Salty Towers, and became popular again. Next season, it changed to Boney Burbs. The names changed, but the pool was the same. People still wanted to drop there. In December 2021, another live event flipped the island, starting Chapter 3 with a new map. Tilted was surprisingly there, but buried under snow, like Epic was teasing it on purpose. In January 2022, it thawed and finally returned after about 2 years. The message was loud. Tilted was way too powerful to stay dead. Tilted's impact had gone way deeper than nostalgia. It changed Fortnite in 3 ways that still mattered. 1. It changed how players measured skill. Surviving Tilted became a badge. It's a fast test of how good you are, like your aim, movement, and staying calm. 2. It changed the pacing of the whole game. Once you got used to the speed of Tilted, slower matches felt really empty. 3. It changed Fortnite's relationship with content. Tilted became a word that sells clicks. Tilted, in a title, promises instant action. That shaped what audience expect, and it shaped what content creators made. Tilted also merged into real life. At one point, it even got listed as a real-world location on Google Maps.
Somebody added the Tilted Towers to Google Maps. What a lot of fans did was leave review after review for the location. That is, until it got reported.
That's when you know a video game location has crossed over into culture. And here's the small thing people forget. Tilted taught players how to talk about Fortnite. Phrases like hot drop, off spawn fight, became normal because Tilted made them true. It created a social test. If your friends backed out, you most likely teased them. If they clutched a fight, you remembered it for weeks. That's how a POI becomes a legend. But here's the downside. Tilted was so popular that it messed up an entire island. When too many players land in one spot, it can become underwhelming. Some people have argued that Tilted made Fortnite feel binary, like you either win a fight instantly or spend half the match just looking for a single person. If you're a new player to Fortnite, Tilted can also feel like a punishment. Every time you land there, you just die and repeat it. And for some reason, you still queue because you want to prove that you can survive it. Tilted also affects balance. If Tilted has the most loot, the survivors often leave with the best guns and shield, which can turn into an advantage for the rest of the match. So Epic stuck with a tricky choice. Keep the iconic chaos, or smooth the game out, and overall making it less exciting. Epic's solution has been a cycle. Destroy Tilted, replace Tilted, then tease Tilted's coming back, and finally revive Tilted. Every time the community reacts the same way, which tells you why it works. Tilted gives players instant meaning. Most hot drops are loot, then rotate, and maybe a couple off-spawn fights. Tilted is loot, fight, then survive. It's a tiny story with a clear goal. Make it out alive. Humans love that. It's the same reason people run it back after a bad game. Tilted feels like a challenge you can beat, not just a random loss. Tilted also shared memories. If you ask anybody who played back in the day, they probably have a Tilted story. The time your squad landed different buildings and somehow you all survived and regrouped. The time you escaped with 1 HP. The time when you won a roof fight and felt unstoppable. Those stories spread and turned a location into a legend. Epic even let the community touch Tilted. Okay, hear me out. In Chapter 3 Season 2, an in-game war damaged buildings there, and players could submit replacement building designs through creative. That's not normal for a battle royale, and it hasn't been seen before. That's just another reason why Tilted is created like a public square. Then Fortnite's story kept rolling. Tilted became Tainted Towers during the Chrome invasion, and later the island was destroyed again during the Fractured live event. In Chapter 4 Season OG, the original map returned, including Tilted, before the Big Bang event brought the Black Hole back again. Even outside main battle royale, Tilted kept appearing through creative recreations and special modes like Reload, and later in the permanent OG mode. That's basically Epic saying, okay, fine, this is part of the game's DNA, so they have to keep it there. The crazy thing is that Epic has basically admitted Tilted is the most powerful button. When Epic wants a community together, they just bring back Tilted. When Epic wants drama, they threaten Tilted. When Epic wants a reset, Tilted is part of the headline. No other POI has done that for so long. Tilted changed Fortnite forever because it proved one place can shape a whole game. It shaped how people land, it shaped how matches feel, it shaped how creators tell stories, it shaped how Epic runs live events and map resets. It proved that chaos can be a feature, as long as it creates moments people can't stop talking about. Tilted Tower started as a big loot heavy city near the center of the map, but it became Fortnite's heartbeat. The hottest drop, the biggest rumor target, the most argued overbalanced problem, and the most missed landmark when it was gone. Epic destroyed it with a volcano, rebuilt it as Neo Tilted, remixed it into Tilted Town and Gotham City, erased it with the Black Hole event, teased it under the snow, and still could not escape its pull. Tilted isn't just a location, it's a habit, a story, and a symbol of what Fortnite at its best can be. Exciting, loud, sometimes unfair, hilarious, and somehow super addictive. Even when you swear you're done with Tilted, the next match starts and someone pings it and you feel that pull again. Subscribe for more Fortnite deep dives.